What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Kaba Soul. I want to pick back up where I left off with um, talking about James and Jesus. Remember, I said that their names are clues. Okay, not saying that the actual events um, or the things that they describe about a person is correct or incorrect, but I'm saying the name that they named these two gentlemen, James and Jesus, we already found out that they were brothers. Okay, so that's one connection. And then we found out that James' name means the to replace, or what was the other name? I forgot what it was. But to replace, basically. Um, but when we look at, let's break down the syllables of his name. So um, you have James. The first two initials is Ja, J-A. Okay, J-A is um, is a it comes from Slavic language, which is German. Okay, it's German. Okay, J-A is German. Okay, J-E is French. Okay, all right. So J-A is a grammatical particle meaning yes. Okay, so Ja means yes in most Germanic languages, right? But Ja in its um, um, informal English mean I. I in many Slavic languages. Now, this the thing. Slavic language, German, that's Hebrew language. Alright? How do I know this? I told y'all that I spent some time in the previous video. I told y'all I spent some time as a Jew. I spent some time as a Muslim. And I grew up as a Christian. Right? So y'all don't think I'm joking. This is a Hebrew Bible, right? All modern Hebrew Bibles are written in Hebrew and Yiddish. This is pure Hebrew. There is no English in here. Look at the Bible. There's no English in here. Okay? So this is how I read the Hebrew Bible. Okay? From left to right. Okay? I mean, from right to left, not left to right. Sorry. From right to left. All right? So this is my Hebrew Bible. All right? And so once again, like I said, I think I mentioned on another video about gematria and about every word having a numerical value, right? So, but in the same fraction, we're talking about syllables. So, Ja is is the letter I, and J E. So let's look at James' name. So I don't want to jump ahead. So we got Ja, right? Let me go back to this. I'm looking through my phone, y'all. So we got Ja, right? All right, and we found out that Ja means I in Slavic languages. All right, it's a Cyrillic letter, like Ya. Now I know y'all heard that. You know what I'm saying? Ya. I know y'all heard that before. Come on, man. We make jokes about it with the Swedish women. Ya. You get what I'm saying? So now we know that James, front of the Bible, is Ja is I. And you got the M. It's one word. I am is I'm, abbreviated I apostrophe M. I'm, ES is ISIS. Now I'm going to show you where that is. But James on the front of the Bible literally says I'm ISIS, ES. Alright? Now, Jesus, JE, right? I told y'all that that's French. Right? That's the French. Right? JE is it's a hypothetical intermediate source text of the Torah postulated by the documentary hypothesis. It's a combination and redaction of the Jewish and Elohist source texts. All right. Yeah, hold on. Let me find it. JE is the give me 1 second. Yeah, JE is French. Hold on. I need the suffix. Just bear with me, y'all. Bear with me. All right, here it is. What do you mean by JE in French? All right, so if y'all want to look this up, I'm telling you, it get tricky with Google. So this is how you got to ask the question. What do you mean by JE in French? Okay, it's a pronoun for I. Okay, the word used by a speaker or writer in talking about himself or herself. I'm gonna read it again. So if you want to look this up, you're gonna look up what do you mean by JE in French? Okay, because remember I told we looking up Jesus, right? And according to uh uh um Hebrew, it's Yeshua. Why we still at JE is YE. Okay? So now, what is that? Okay? So it's a pronoun, okay, for the letter I. JE stands for the letter I. It's a pronoun only as the subject of a verb, the word used by a speaker or writer in talking about himself or herself. So now let's look at Jesus, okay? And we're going to break this down more. JE, now we know, is I. So now what do we have left in Jesus? Isus. I, Isus. I, Isis. Now let me show you. Let me take you to another book. And you guys can feel free to get this book. It's called Isis Magic, okay? The mother of 10,000 names, okay? The goddess, of 10,000 names. All right. So look, I want to show y'all something. So hope y'all can hear me. So it says the familiar name Isis is actually the Greek version of the Egyptian goddess's name. In Egyptian, her name was most often spelled with the hieroglyphs. Throne with a semicircle goddess. So it's like a throne with like a half circle or a semicircle representing the goddess. Okay? Although during the thousands of years of her worship, there were a number of variant spellings. Egyptian artists commonly designated Isis by painting or carving the throne hieroglyph on her crown. Okay? Thus, it is possible to identify the shortest version of Isis's name with the throne itself. Okay? The goddess Isis is the goddess throne. Is the goddess's throne. Because the hieroglyphs include only consonants. We do not know precisely how the ancient Egyptians would have pronounced her name, but we have clues. The throne hieroglyph, right, is a biliteral glyph, okay? That is a single symbol representing two sounds, all right? The semicircle is a monoliteral or single sound glyph and represents the sound of our letter T in this case. It provides the feminine ending of the word just as the English we might add S to feminize a word. That's S spelled ESS. Now remember, let's pause right there for a second. And they just told you that a word, just as in English, we might add ESS to feminize a word. Okay? Now, look at ESS is the same as ES. Okay? It's the sounding of the second S. You're not saying SSS. You're saying S. And it's sounded out. Okay? So now we're talking about James. The ES is meant to be made feminine in the sounding off of it. Okay? So now we got Jah, I, with the M, I am, I'm, I am, with the ES. Isis. Okay? Now, let's keep going, because I'm gonna prove this point. Let's keep going. The goddess's symbol is type of hieroglyph called a determinative and provides the overall concept of the word, but has no sound. The first of the two sounds comprising the literal throne is a consonant similar to the Hebrew yod, okay, and is represented by modern Egyptologists as I. So that's why I said in my previous video, the first video I did about James and Jesus, when I said drop the J, I know it sounded crazy, right? I know it sounded crazy. When I said drop the J and put back the I, okay? So now I'm giving you my sources of why I'm saying that, okay? I took y'all to Google. I showed y'all how it's broken down from a dictionary standpoint, okay? And now I'm taking you to the history books, okay? The history books. This information that I'm reading is older than the script, older than what we would call the Holy Bible, older than what we would call the Tanakh, older than what we would call the Quran. All those books came after this information right here that I'm reading to you from about Isis. So again, by modern Egyptologists as the letter I, okay? The yod sound is similar to English Y, or could even be silent. But remember that it is a consonant, not a vowel. It is a consonant, not a vowel, okay? In hieroglyphs, when it occurs as a monoliteral, it is represented by the reed flower glyph, okay? The second of the two sounds in the throne is an S. Between the consonants I and S, any vowel could have been inserted. I'm going to say it again. Between the consonants of I and S, which you have in the name James, because Jah is I, and his last letter in his name is an S. So between I and S, you can put any letters in there. It doesn't matter, right? The second, so it says, the second of the two sounds in the throne is an S. Between the consonants I and S, any vowel could have been inserted. And that's what the fuck they did. They inserted any vowel in there. But you got to do your research. See, they say about black people, if you want to hide anything from them, put it in a book. And most people don't read. And I'm sorry, Christians. I'm sorry. I only know this because I grew up with you motherfuckers. Y'all are lazy. And you rather rely on a pastor just coming to a building telling you whatever the bumfuck he didn't sit home and conjured up based upon his personal feelings for y'all, versus you doing your own due diligence. Don't you know sloth is a sin? It's one of the 7 deadly sins. Sloth or slothfulness. That's laziness. That's you not putting in the work. You must do the due diligence. Okay? Read. The Bible says, search the scriptures, for in them ye have returned, for they are they that testify me. Now, here's the trickery, because most of you think that the one book that you have, the Holy Bible, is the only scripture there is. No, there are many scripts. Because you have been ignorant to the rest of them does not mean that they don't exist. Because you have been told that the other ones are illegitimate doesn't mean that they are illegitimate. You cannot place judgment on something until you do the work. So here we go. As it is said, between the consonants I and S, any vowel could have been inserted. Similarly, a vowel could have occurred between the throne and the semicircle. So how can we know which vowels were used? Here we go. This is how we're going to know. All right. The ancient Coptic and Greek languages provide some information. Coptic is a late form of Egyptian that uses Greek letters to represent Egyptian sounds. I'm going to say it again. Coptic is a late form of Egyptian that uses Greek letters to represent Egyptian sounds. So what you have, let me explain to you what that means. What you have in the so-called Holy Bible that is written from a Greek perspective is Greek letters that represent Egyptian sound. So James' name, Jesus' name, all these names in the Bible, hell, Hermes Trismegistus. Let's go with those. They are Greek letters that are used, right, to represent Egyptian sounds. Hermes Trismegistus is nothing more than a copy of Thoth. Thoth is the great god of wisdom. Hermes Trismegistus is the Greek's version of the Black Thoth from Egypt. Facts. Alright? By the time Egyptian had evolved into Coptic, Isis is Isis, or Ise, or Ashe, E-S-E. Pronounced Ashe, or Ase, A-A-Y-S-E-H. The final T was dropping in spelling by this time and likely in pronunciation much earlier. Alright? So the pronunciation with the T was dropped earlier. They've been dropped that. So now we at Ase, Ashe. You know what I'm saying? The T is dropped. From their earliest encounter with Egyptian religion, the Greeks, and most importantly, those Egyptians who wrote Greek. I'm going to say it again, that part. From their earliest encounter with Egyptian religion, who? The Greeks. And most importantly, those Egyptians who wrote Greek spelled the name as I'm trying to pronounce this, y'all. Looks like I-O. I can't even show y'all that. Sorry about the glitch. It is spelled, it looked like I-O-C-E. Which they would have pronounced as Isis. Yeah, -S-I-S-S. Alright, so it says, let me read that again because that was a little muggy. Alright, let me read that again because it was a little muggy. I had a little trouble with the spelling. Hey, I'm human. And that's a good thing that I struggle. You don't understand. From the earliest encounter with Egyptian religion, the Greeks, and most importantly those Egyptians who wrote Greek, spelled the name as, like I said, it's apostrophe I O, looks like I E, which they would have pronounced as EE-SISS, Isis. In late antiquity, they sometimes added an epsilon at the beginning so that an alternative pronunciation would have been Asis, AAY-SISS. Okay? So it says, so from examples of her name in Coptic and Greek contemporary pronunciations that were actually being used by the people who recorded them, we can narrow the search for initial vowels down to an EE sound and an AAY sound. We can be fairly sure then that in Egyptian, the first part of the goddess's name was in earlier times Isis, EESS, and in the late period had changed into Isis, AAYSS. Okay? Between the IS and the T, we insert a generic E before the final T to create the feminine ending in line with the Egyptological convention of representing the feminine ending as et, as in Amunet, the feminine form of Amun. It is entirely possible that this E could have been another vowel such as I. So when you see the end of James' name and it has an E, that E can also be replaced with the I. Just like Ja is German, which is the meaning for I, talking about himself or herself. Okay? So now, nonetheless, by combining the information we have about her name as pronounced in Coptic and Greek with current scholarly opinion on Egyptian pronunciation, it is most likely that Isis in Egyptian would have been pronounced Iset, EE-SET, and in late antiquity also as Iset, AAYSET. Either of these would have been Hellenized to Isis by converting the Egyptian et to the common Greek is ending. Finally, we anglicize the pronunciation of Isis to Isis in this book. I use both the common Hellenic form of her name, Isis, and the Egyptian form, which will represent as Iset, pronounced Eset, EE space SET. All right. Now, with that being said, we go back to Jesus, right? Isis. We already know J-E is I, right? Isis, E-S-U-S. S-U-S. Okay? As long as that S is there and that I is there in the beginning, you can put any vowel. You can put any vowel in the middle. You can put any vowel in the middle. You still come up with Isis. You see what I'm saying? So this is the thing. Listen, I want to read this last thing to y'all. And this is going to be the end of this video right here. Alright? I'm going to read this last thing to y'all. This is real stuff, man. Look, the things I'm telling y'all, this ain't about dogma, no opinion. This is important. You know what I'm saying? This is important. We talk about God the Father all day. Now, where is God the Mother? In the Spirit. I'll wait. I'm showing y'all who she is right now. The same Holy Ghost that y'all catching. It's your mother. Okay? It's your mother. I want to read this to y'all real quick. Let me find it. Give me 1 second, y'all. I want to read this. 1 second. This is some good stuff, y'all. And I'm telling you, I know it might sound crazy, half the shit I'm saying, but listen. If your heart is to be right, then that's all that matters. All the other bull can go out the window. You know what I mean? It could go out the window. It can go out the window. It can go out the window. I think that's it. I'm trying to make sure there's nothing else I wanted to add in here. I appreciate you guys coming on. Look, while I'm looking for this, look, like this video. All right, subscribe to the channel. Hit that post notifications. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, come back for more. Share this video. It's important. You know what I mean? We got to know, who we are. Actually, can't be shooting blanks. And especially, look, y'all go to church. Y'all pray to a God. Wouldn't it be nice to pray to the right God? Wouldn't it be nice to connect to the right source? We talking about source. Connecting to source. Right? Ain't that what we all want? To connect to source? That's what I'm trying to find, y'all. Our connection to if there's something here about the connection to source that I had marked off. Here we go. All right, I'm gonna read this and then we out, y'all. Listen. To be sure, this connection from Goddess affects women deeply. Okay. But men also suffer without Goddess. Without her, men cannot explore the full depths of their own souls. Without her, men like women are cut off from one of the well springs of divine energy. Without her, they cannot fully understand the human women in their lives. If we do not know Goddess, we cannot comprehend the fullness of the divine or of our own human natures. Men and women alike need to know our divine mother and our divine father. All right? Now, it is time for the people of color to put down your false gods. Mama said it's time to come in and come home to her and daddy. Okay? Ra and Isis said it's time to come home.